Hey folks, Matt here. Out for a paddle, doing some trouting now that the season is open, and spending the night in the back of the pond here. Took in my new hot tent, my stove. It's not supposed to be real cold, but it's calling for 2 to 3 degrees, so cold enough. Certainly cold enough that hanging out in the tent with the stove going is going to be nice. So I'll get in now. It's my first time here since last year. So it'll be nice to get in. I've been wanting to come in and check on camp. I'm in by myself today. It's going to be my first time ever camping truly alone. I left the dogs home. So we'll get a bit more into that now later. We get some updates on the family front. Some good, some not so good. So we'll sit down at once it gets in now, and we'll chat for a bit. Oh man, he's only a little guy. Beautiful little brookie. Lots of them old spots onto him. Hands are nice and wet. Let him go again. Oh, there we go. Tiny thing. Winning-ish. Oh, fish on. Ah. Surprised you're letting me get this close. Just about in the camp, and it starts raining. Now I can see a whole bunch of logs, but they're all in the wrong direction. So that tells me that the little shelter I started has collapsed. As you can see behind me, I made it to camp. I had everything set up. I didn't bother filming because it was starting to rain. So in case it decided to dump, I wanted to get everything set up before I got soaked. I had the tarp set up, tent and stove, and everything is going there. Figure I'd throw the camera on and elaborate on what I mentioned earlier in the canoe. It's been a while since I've been doing any videos. It's certainly been a while since I sat down and talked into the camera. I know most of you are grateful for that. We adopted a mixed breed. We ended up calling him Murphy from SPCA about a year and a half ago. He was in my last couple of videos, but again, I wasn't speaking. There was no introduction. Yeah, Murphy is he's a hell of a dog. He's great in the canoe. He loves going camping. Last weekend was May 24th weekend. Stephanie and I had plans to go camping. But a couple of days before that, we filled out a application for a dog that we saw at Claremville SPCA. His name was Odie. Super handsome dog. According to their description, it seemed to check the list. Check all the boxes on the list. For us, not too small, not too big, young, good with cats, good with dogs, and the lab breed. He should be fine around water and in the canoe and stuff. So that's what we done Friday morning. We were approved on Wednesday. We drove out Friday morning of the long weekend, drove out to Claremville. And one thing that was pretty neat was 99.1 had a post on their Facebook page asking what everybody was doing for the May 24 weekend. So she commented, we're driving to Clarenville to adopt a dog, and they sent her a message if she was okay with being on the radio to talk about it.
So I actually pipped off today. I had put in for a leave to go camping. We usually do tent camping on May 24 weekend, and instead the weather had other plans, so now we're going out to Clarenville to adopt a dog.
Hey, might be the best May 24 you ever had. There's a story to tell here. You enjoy Odie and have the best weekend with him, okay?
Thanks so much.
All right, cheers. Stay hot.
Done the introduction with Murphy and Rosie. It couldn't have gone any better. He was great in the car on the way back. First ever Timbits for our new boy. There he is. There you go, boy. There you go, boy. There you go, boy. Taking it right nice too, lad. Oh, the slobbery old lips at you. We had a rough night the first night. I don't know who Stephanie wanted to kill more, him for barking relentlessly or me for sleeping through it all. Sure enough, very next night and every night since, not a peep. We're very much looking forward to having him out on our adventures. So, Murphy, Rosie and Odie. That's the only three that we have. For those of you who follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you likely already know, providing you saw the post. We lost Mia October 1st last year. She was 12 and a half years old. We had just gotten back from, went on a 2-week road trip out on the west coast, Grossmorn, up Northern Peninsula area. And yeah, it was I think two or 3 days after we got back from that. The next day after we got back, I went hunting and came home. I went hunting for 2 days and came back, and I just knew something wasn't right. Anyways, I'm not going to get into those details, but the next day then, October 1st, she was gone. Hands down the hardest day of my life. I didn't know if I was going to do this video. I certainly didn't think I was going to be able to. I still don't know if I am going to be able to, but I realized that if it wasn't for Mia, this channel wouldn't exist. I wouldn't own any of the gear that you see in this video or you've seen in any of my videos. I wouldn't own my canoe. I probably still wouldn't even be doing any of what I'm doing now. Any canoe trips, backcountry trips, camping. You know, prior to having Mia, I owned a camper, and I used to just tow the camper around, and just when I got her, I just wanted to expose her to everything. I wanted to enjoy just the peace and tranquility of this kind of camping with her. So I owe it to her. I owe it to her to do this, as hard as it is. I owe it to her to do this. I carry her ashes around my neck. I wear this every day, so she's with me all the time. And speaking of with me all the time, I mean, the logical part of my brain, I know, obviously, I'm not going to look right here and see her lying next to me. But when I knew she was here with me, it feels the same as that. It every day since, as much as I miss her and as hard as it is, and as much crying as I've done, God knows I've done enough of that. It feels like it. Honest to God, there's no other way to describe it. It just feels like she's still here with me. It feels like I'm going to turn around and she's just laying on the ground next to me. I've never been anywhere in the woods and it didn't feel like she was there. Maybe not next to me, but it just feels like she's here with me. It took me a while to get back into coming outside. I didn't camp at all. This right now, May 20th, is my first time camping since our road trip back in September. I didn't camp over the winter. I went in for a few hikes. There was a few times I took the dogs. I took Rosie and Murphy. I had all the gear in my bag for my usual boil up in the day. Saws, pot, kettle, got some wood, have a fire, and I packed a bag, I hiked in, and I wouldn't stop long enough. I'd stop long enough to do my pee, and that's it. I couldn't, my mind wouldn't let me just stop and relax. I had no interest at all. Everything sucked. Didn't matter what I was doing. Everything sucked. Everything still does a small bit. I mean, I miss her. She's missing in absolutely everything that I do. Everything that I ever did that was good and made me happy, having her with me made it 1,000 times better. And I don't have that anymore. But I'd forced myself to keep going back out. And it sucked every time. Man, I text Stephanie and I tell her this sucks. I just can't wait to get home. I was irritated with Murphy and Rosie. I just didn't feel right showing any affection to Murphy or Rosie at all. And then finally, when I did decide to cut a few sticks and have a fire, I'd boil the kettle, I'd drink whatever I made, I'd eat whatever food I brought, and then I'd immediately just put the fire out and leave. I couldn't wait to get out of there. I think that happened 2 or 3 times. I said to Stephanie, like, I usually can't go a week without getting online and looking up some new piece of gear to buy for camping. I mean, it could be anything. It could be a $5 little pot stand, or it could be a $500 tent. I'm always looking at stuff, and I had no interest in being at any of it at all. And I didn't know if I was ever going to. I couldn't get in the canoe. I couldn't. I just didn't want to do any of it. I didn't want to do any of it without her. But then something, I don't know what, I guess enough time went by that I just started to get back out again and wanted to be at it. And I wanted to come up camping. And while I was packing for this today, I just stood in the middle of my gear room and I just don't want to go. I had to force myself to come out. So this right now is the very first time that I've ever camped from my canoe without Mia. It's the first time that I've ever camped on Crown land. It's the only time in my life I ever slept in my tent without anyone else around was when I was in the backyard. I've never gone camping like this truly alone. I've always had Mia with, either if it was a hunting trip or a winter trip, I'd be with someone else. Brian would be there, or I'd be up hunting with Phil or whoever. But just in the middle of the woods in a tent. This is the first time I'll have ever done it. I didn't mean to ramble on too long, boys. I know that a lot of people will probably just want to skip through all that, but like I said, I owe it to Mia. It's unbelievable how much I miss that dog, but she was truly my best friend. Man, oh man, walking through the woods without her is not easy. My first day out in the canoe this year, when ice was out, was again my first time in the canoe without her. And when I lost her, there was certain things that I knew to expect. You know, the first time going in the canoe, the first time going camping, you know, her birthday, Christmas, whatever. Those things you can prepare for. But there's a lot of stuff that just sneaks up on you that you don't realize are a thing until it's not there anymore. And it was the first day that I got out this year in the canoe, and I put in at Big Triangle Pond, went up through the little gullies there, and I went to portage up to Southern Peak Pond, and I put the canoe barrel on my back and started up through the portage trail, and everything was, you know, fine until I got to this little patch of mud, and I looked at it and it was untouched, and I just started to cry. It wasn't until I laid eyes on it that I realized I've never done a portage trail and not looked and saw Mia's tracks in the mud in front of me. She was always just running ahead of me. You know, run ahead, turn around, look back, run ahead, turn around, look back. I'm anticipating a lifetime of that stuff happening, no doubt. And as sad as it is and as hard as it is, I consider it a privilege. I mean, it was the most devastating day of my life. I quite literally, physically collapsed right to the floor a couple of hours after she was gone. But as bad as that is, and as sad as it is, and I'll have to carry this with me the rest of my life, I consider it such a privilege. For anyone who doesn't understand, I know that a lot of people, you know, you're not a dog person, you're not a cat person, whatever. But I feel bad for anyone who doesn't have something in their life that they love, outside of people, obviously, but something else in their life that they love that much, that it hurts them that much when it's gone. Anyways, I must get some supper on. Again, apologies for the rant, but she deserves it. It got real cold out real quick. The fire outside just wasn't cutting it anymore. I said I had this perfectly good tent, blocking the wind, nice wood stove in here, loaded, ready to go. So there we are. She's fired up. Within a minute after it was going, it's super toasty in here now. This one here is absolutely perfect. There's not a whole lot of space, but again, it's a solo tent. Enough for a bit of wood, your stove. I didn't realize how hungry I was till I came in here and sat down. So let's do it. Boys, she's cooking in here now. That there, I'll have to check the temperature after, is, whoo, she's warm in her. Let me do that now. Just cooking up feed, watching me the last leaks on YouTube. Loving it. Gotta have the door vented. She's a bit too warm. Toasty. Toasty, boys. Jesus. Loves it. Oh, so when I said earlier it was cooking in here, yeah, it's pretty warm. Sitting here now in the tent with that, say, just above where my head is too. We're at 34.1 degrees Celsius. Yeah, she's rough, boys. She's rough, right? You know, 2-3 degrees out. She's a hard time, but what can I say? 28.7 down on the bed. Oh, she's toasty in her. So I got a feeling I'm not going to be complaining overnight tonight. Come on with it. It's 1:30 in the morning. The sleep pad is after sliding. The cot is on a bit of an angle, so the sleep pad slid down. My foot is up against the side of the tent. Something just pushed into my foot. It didn't bite, it just nudged into my foot. I don't know what it was. There's nothing at all around my tent. I'm assuming fox or coyote. I mean, I'm up on the cot, so I can't imagine a rabbit pushing hard enough to wake me up. So it must be a fox or a coyote. Jesus, what a rust that was. Oof. Well, it was an interesting night. Whatever that was that touched my foot never came back and ate it, so there's that. The wind was brutal the whole night. It was a hard night to try and stay asleep for sure. A combination of wondering if something was going to eat me and if the tent was going to blow off the stakes. I took a chance and lit the stove. I'm hoping I'm not going to regret not packing up and leaving right away. I also must have been snoring pretty bad after I fell back asleep the last time. I think that was around 4 or 5 o'clock this morning. I don't know if you know what uveitis is, but I get it every now and then. It's bad. It's gross. Oh, uveitis. Just Google it. Ugh. So I was right this morning. I knew I'd be jinxing it by not packing up and leaving early. It was just quite cozy in there. Just didn't want to have the rush. So the whole way back should be like this once I get clear of this first 400 or 500 meters. That's what I'm hoping. Because that wind is fierce. Oh. Jesus. Did you, did you Google uveitis yet? Oh, gross. So it's deceiving in the video here because, well, I mean, you can tell that I'm hitting the wind gusts. But you're looking at the water, and the water looks pretty flat. And it's going to, on the same side of the pond that the wind is coming from, because the waves aren't going to build right from shore. I can't show you, I can't zoom in far enough to show you, but over on the downwind side of the pond, there's nothing but whitecaps and waves. Come on with it. Oh, Jesus. Yep. Jesus, this wind is wicked. I'm glad I left when I did. Oh, I'm going to tuck in here for a few minutes. Listen to the wind. Wicked. All right. Well, you can certainly see the difference in this side of the pond here. I'm still not even all the way over, but I'm sure you can see the water there next to me. It's the wind is just driving me here. You don't want to get turned side on to those waves. Out in the drink you'll go. All right. Made it to shore. Oh, look at that. That's what I just came across. Oh, what timing. How much did that suck? Yeah, I left at the right time. I'm happy with that. Car is still there. Windows are all still in it, so that's good. Alright boys, catch you on the next one.